Welcome to our countdown of the top 10 natural disasters in history. These events, etched in the annals of time, stand as stark reminders of the untamed power of the natural world. From volcanic eruptions that darkened the skies to earthquakes that shook the very foundations of our planet, we will journey across time and continents to witness the sheer scale of these unforgettable catastrophes. These events have left a lasting impact on our world, shaping the course of human history. They have reshaped landscapes, toppled civilizations, and left behind a legacy of resilience and adaptation. Join me now as we delve into the depths of these disasters, exploring their causes, their consequences, and the indelible mark they have left on our collective memory. The morning of December 26, 2004, dawned like any other across the shores of the Indian Ocean. Unbeknownst to millions, deep beneath the surface, the Earth's tectonic plates were grinding against each other, building up unimaginable pressure. Then, suddenly it struck. A colossal earthquake, registering a staggering 9.1 to 9.3 on the Richter scale, ripped through the ocean floor off the coast of Sumatra, Indonesia. The earthquake's energy surged through the water, displacing billions of tons of seawater and setting in motion a series of monstrous waves, a tsunami. These walls of water, some reaching heights of over 100 feet, raced across the ocean at speeds exceeding 500 miles per hour, leaving a trail of devastation in their wake. From Indonesia to Thailand, Sri Lanka to Somalia, the tsunami slammed into coastlines, engulfing entire communities and claiming the lives of over 230,000 souls. On January 12, 2010, the impoverished nation of Haiti was struck by a catastrophe of unimaginable proportions. At 4:53 p.m. local time, a magnitude 7.0 earthquake, centered just a few miles from the capital city of Port-au-Prince, tore through the island. Buildings crumbled into dust, homes were reduced to rubble, and a nation already grappling with poverty and instability was brought to its knees. The earthquake's impact was devastating. Over 220,000 people lost their lives, countless others were injured, and an estimated 1.5 million were left homeless. The already fragile infrastructure of Haiti was shattered, with hospitals, schools, and government buildings reduced to ruins. The world watched in horror as the true scale of the disaster unfolded, a grim reminder of the destructive power of nature. The year 1931 brought with it not only economic hardship for a young Chinese republic, but also one of the deadliest natural disasters in human history. The Yangtze River, the lifeblood of China, swelled to unprecedented levels, fed by torrential rains and melting snow from the Tibetan Plateau. The river, unable to contain the immense volume of water, burst its banks, unleashing a catastrophic flood upon the surrounding countryside. The floodwaters spread like a watery plague, engulfing an area larger than the size of England. Villages were swept away, cities were inundated, and millions were left homeless and starving. The Yangtze was not alone in its fury. The Yellow and Huai rivers also overflowed, adding to the unimaginable devastation. Estimates of the death toll vary widely, ranging from a staggering 1 million to a heart-wrenching 4 million souls lost to the relentless floodwaters. The island of Sumbawa, Indonesia, was once home to Mount Tambora, a majestic volcano that dominated the landscape. In April 1815, this sleeping giant awoke with a fury unlike anything witnessed in recorded history. The eruption of Mount Tambora was a cataclysm of unimaginable proportions, a display of raw volcanic power that would reverberate around the globe. The eruption sent a towering column of ash and debris high into the atmosphere, darkening the skies for thousands of miles. Pyroclastic flows, rivers of molten rock and superheated gas raced down the volcano's slopes, incinerating everything in their path. The eruption of Mount Tambora claimed the lives of over 70,000 people, but its effects were felt far beyond the shores of Indonesia. The massive injection of volcanic material into the atmosphere disrupted global weather patterns, causing what became known as the Year Without a Summer in 1816. On May 12, 2008, the mountainous region of Sichuan, China, was rocked by a devastating earthquake, measuring a powerful 7.9 on the Richter scale. The quake, centered in Wenchuan County, sent tremors that were felt as far away as Beijing and Shanghai, but it was the epicenter that bore the brunt of nature's fury. The earthquake's impact was catastrophic. over 87,000 people lost their lives, many buried beneath the rubble of collapsed buildings. Schools and hospitals, symbols of hope and resilience, were reduced to ruins, trapping countless victims beneath their debris. The Sichuan earthquake serves as a stark reminder of the vulnerability of human life in the face of nature's awesome power. In the Sunda Strait, between the islands of Java and Sumatra, lay Krakatoa, a seemingly unassuming volcanic island. But beneath its tranquil exterior, a cauldron of molten rock and unimaginable pressure was building. In August 1883, Krakatoa erupted with a series of cataclysmic explosions that sent shockwaves around the world. The final eruption of Krakatoa was one for the history books, literally. The sound of the explosion was heard thousands of miles away, and the pressure wave it generated circled the globe several times. Tsunamis, triggered by the volcano's collapse, surged across the Sunda Strait, devastating coastal communities, and claiming the lives of over 36,000 people. The eruption of Krakatoa stands as a chilling testament to the destructive power that lies dormant within our planet. On November 12, 1970, a monstrous storm gathered strength over the warm waters of the Bay of Bengal. This was no ordinary storm. It was a powerful tropical cyclone, packing winds of up to 115 miles per hour, that would soon be etched in history as the deadliest cyclone on record, the Bola cyclone. The cyclone slammed into the densely populated Ganges Delta of East Pakistan, now Bangladesh, bringing with it not only ferocious winds but also a catastrophic storm surge, a wall of water that inundated low-lying coastal areas. The storm surge, estimated to have been as high as 40 feet, swept away entire villages, leaving a trail of devastation and despair in its wake. The Bola cyclone stands as a grim reminder of the vulnerability of coastal communities to the fury of nature's wrath. On April 26, 1986, in the heart of what was then the Soviet Union, a disaster of unprecedented scale unfolded. At the Chernobyl nuclear power plant near the city of Pripyat in Ukraine, a routine safety test went tragically wrong, leading to a catastrophic explosion in reactor number 4. The Chernobyl disaster was a stark reminder of the immense power and potential dangers of nuclear energy. The explosion released a plume of radioactive material into the atmosphere, contaminating a vast area and forcing the evacuation of Pripyat and the surrounding region. While the immediate death toll was relatively small, the long-term consequences of the disaster in terms of radiation exposure and the environmental impact continue to this day. On March 11, 2011, the northeastern coast of Japan was struck by one of the most powerful earthquakes ever recorded, the Tohoku earthquake. Registering a magnitude 9.0, the earthquake unleashed a series of devastating tsunamis that surged across the Pacific Ocean, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. The tsunami waves, some reaching heights of over 130 feet, crashed into the Japanese coastline, inundating coastal cities and towns, and crippling the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant, leading to a nuclear meltdown and widespread radioactive contamination. The Tohoku earthquake and tsunami stand as a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of natural disasters and the devastating consequences that can result. The 1930s, a decade marked by economic hardship, also saw a natural disaster of unprecedented scale grip the heartland of America, the Dust Bowl. Years of severe drought, coupled with unsustainable farming practices, had left the topsoil of the Great Plains parched and vulnerable to the relentless wind. Massive dust storms, often referred to as black blizzards, swept across the region, turning day into night and burying homes, farms, and entire towns beneath a thick blanket of dust. The Dust Bowl triggered a mass exodus as thousands of families, their livelihoods destroyed, were forced to flee their homes in search of a better life. The Dust Bowl serves as a stark reminder of the delicate balance of nature and the devastating consequences of its disruption. These natural disasters, each a tragedy in its own right, serve as a stark reminder of the immense power of the natural world and the fragility of human existence. We have witnessed the devastating consequences of earthquakes, tsunamis, volcanic eruptions, and even the slow, creeping disaster that was the Dust Bowl. Yet, amidst the destruction and despair, we also see the indomitable spirit of humanity shining through. From the selfless rescue workers who risk their lives to save others to the communities that come together to rebuild in the aftermath of disaster, we are reminded of our capacity for compassion, resilience, and hope. These stories of survival and rebuilding offer a glimmer of light in the face of unimaginable tragedy. These natural disasters remind us of the power of nature and the resilience of humanity.